Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. For all you Audie fans, he is asleep in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed all day. We are in sort of late afternoon now, and that bed has gone unmade. You know, when this happens, I just cross my fingers that there's not going to be an emergency and someone's going to need to go into my bedroom because it's so embarrassing. But Audie has decided he is going to sleep right in the middle of the bed. And he's pretty much been there all day long. So yeah, cat's comfort, that usually trumps out my sense of embarrassment at having an unmade bed all day. Ordinarily, at this time of day, he gets up and starts prowling around because this is the time of day he likes to go outside. This is the time of day that is the warmest time of day in my area. I know it's not like that everywhere, but here around 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the temperature is at its highest. And so that's when he wants to go out, look around, play, find something small to kill, and eat. So I can't really fault him for killing it. It's not like he doesn't eat it. And he does that, by the way, just to remind me that if I don't feed him what he wants, he'll feed himself. And that brings me to the cat food wars. Yes, Audie has, in fact, pretty much won. I am giving him the dry food that he gets sick on, but I am also supplementing it with the food that he can hold down. So we're walking a delicate line here. I'm giving him enough dry food to keep him happy and enough of the easily digestible liquid. Basically, it's treats. It's like paste food. Yes, it is ghastly expensive to feed him treats instead of food because those treats, my goodness, are they ever pricey? But it's what he'll eat. So we're sort of walking the tightrope. He gets enough of the dry food to make him happy, but not so much that he's throwing up, and he's getting enough of the paste treats so that I know his belly is full. And by the way, I have done the research on this. He can live on cat treats. They are nutritionally complete. It's just that most people don't do that. Again, like I said, they're very pricey, so why would you do this? Well, unless you have a very dictatorial, stubborn little cat like I do. So that's what's going on in Audie's universe. As far as channel business, because I do want to talk about that a little, the giveaways are still going on through the suemeangels YouTube page. And I've mentioned this before, I'm sure. We have our suemeangels who run the giveaways. They moderate the Facebook page, and they take care of all of this for me. Frankly, I'm not very good at giveaways on my own, and they are excellent at it. But as I've said before, with me on one end and them on the other end, that is your guarantee that the giveaways are always on the up and up. It's not just I get to do what I want to do and I'm telling you something's been given away and you have nothing but my word for it. No, other people are involved in this and everything is above board. Go on over, sign up for the giveaways. And remember, if anyone ever approaches you telling you that you have won a giveaway on this channel and you need to give them money, no. If you have to pay for it, it's not a giveaway. And that was one of the reasons that I had difficulty sending things overseas. Usually when we have overseas winners, I may have to substitute an item. And often when I do that, it will be a gift card, Amazon or whatever. I found out now I can do MasterCard and Visa gift cards. So, yeah. They're all in dollars, though. I got to work that out. But we do have alternatives available. So just because you're overseas, I don't want you to think that you can't be part of the giveaway. I just may have to make a substitution because, again, I don't want you to get a package and then get a bill from the customs office, because if you have to pay for it, it's not much of a giveaway, right? So that's how we are doing this. And Stephanie, she is one of our Sumi's angels, has got in touch with me recently, and she is going to be making some custom jewelry specifically for these giveaways. So I am looking forward to that, because it's just, she does wonderful work, and it's really nice to have special items that are designed just for our community. And Steph is part of our community, so she pretty much has her finger on the pulse of what the community does and doesn't like, and preferences, things like that. So that is fabulous. Let me see, what else did I want to talk? Oh, video comments. I have not been answering video comments at the same level I used to. And I have not announced this on the Just Chattin' video series. I'm going to do it here because this is where our core community members show up, weekend after weekend, so I can talk to you as if I'm talking to my friends. At least that's the way I think about it. I do think of you all as my friends, my intimates, but the evening videos is a more diverse audience. So those people who watch the evening videos, if they want to be let in on the inside track, they're going to have to come over and watch the weekend videos too. The fact is that I no longer have any vision left in my right eye. Now, first of all, keep in mind, I have been blind since I was 4. This is not unexpected, and it is not like a catastrophe. Not for me anyway, because I have had all the rehab I need to function in this situation, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, kind of in a literal sense, because one of my doctors believes they are going to be able to do surgery to restore some of that vision. And the downside is I live in the middle of freaking nowhere, which means it takes me months to get in to see specialists. When I was in New England, there was a specialist on every corner. And of course, because I had spent my life there, I knew all of them. It's like, if I made a phone call, I could get into an office in 20 minutes because I'd spent my life there. I especially when I was in Rhode Island, where everybody knows everybody to begin with. But I never had trouble getting in to see a specialist and getting in quickly. Around here, there are so few specialists, and they have such a broad geographic area to cover that, yeah, it can be months. So that's what's going on, but that's why I have not been able to do the necessary reading to be able to respond to the comments. I can do enough reading to read your comments, and I do, but that reading what I have typed back to me, that's been the problem. So I am reading the comments. I do know what it is you are communicating to me. I'm just not in a position where I can respond the way I did before. But hopefully that will change. So I just need to beg your patience for a couple of months, and by then we'll have the surgery, and hopefully, see, I don't need all of the vision in my right eye restored. I need just a little bit of it, because my left eye is, well, I was going to say my left eye is great, but, great according to my standards is probably nowhere near great according to yours. For me, this is great vision in my left eye, but the problem is I can't focus my left eye. I need my right eye to focus my left eye. And without vision in my right eye, my left eye won't focus. So it's like having a flashlight in the drawer, but no batteries for it. At least that's the way I think of it. So hopefully even a little bit of vision is going to focus my left eye, and I'll be right back on track, and I will have as much use of whatever residual vision I have as I can. But as far as everything else goes, like out in the world, not using electronic systems. Out in the real world, where I can use Braille, everything's working fine. It's when I'm forced by the screens and the computers to work with print that things are getting dicey for me. So that's what's going on. But again, please do not be concerned about this or worried, because it is absolutely under control, at least as far as it can be. And it is inevitable that most of my vision is, already most of my vision is gone. Whatever little bits are left are probably going to be gone, in time anyway. But again, this is my normal. This is what it's been like all my life. So I'm okay with this. And I don't want you to be concerned, because I know sighted people are very frightened by blindness. I know this. I've known this all my life. I've lived with that vicarious fear I get from other people who would look at me and say, "You mean you can't see? That's awful." And they mean it. They truly mean it. But that's not my reality. I'm okay with this. So I didn't say any of that to upset you, but I did want you to know what's going on. All right, we are going to take a quick break for the intro, and we will be right back. So I thought we would pick up on a thread that I started unraveling last weekend and move a little further into this whole self-improvement, self-awareness thing. I think this might just be a symptom of spring fever. The weather is warming up, and I am looking for ways to stretch and grow and just break out of my ruts. So I started looking at ways in which my life has contracted. How has my universe grown smaller? And I started thinking, since COVID, my universe has grown smaller in some ways. But I did a little bit of research on it, because COVID was simply a coincidence of the time frame. That's all. The pandemic really didn't have very much to do with this. It's a totally different problem. But my universe is shrinking. I have moved into an echo chamber. And most of us have. That's where the research comes in. This is not just about me feeling like all I'm hearing are the voices echoing my own opinions, shooting back at me. No, this is right across the board. Nothing to do with COVID. What's been happening over the last 40 years, maybe 45, is we watched the world shrink. The world got smaller. We got exposed to so much more. And people would say, well, small world, well, that was only partially true. We had access to the larger world, which is basically what they meant when they said, oh, the world's grown smaller. No, we were able to reach into the greater world. When cable TV came along, and in the United States, it became popular in the early 80s. By the mid-80s, I think about 50% of households had either cable or satellite. So we were able to get televised content from all around the world. I remember in the early 80s being able to get news programs from the BBC French news programs from Canada, because I was in New England, so we certainly did have a number of French language television stations available. I could get telenovelas from Mexico. The whole world was there on the screen in front of me. I enjoyed television in those days. I don't even own a television now. But in those days, I enjoyed it. There was so much available. And I thought, isn't this fabulous? I'm getting all of these diverse points of view, information, lifestyles, different cultures. I got the opportunity to see what someone in Ireland was doing on a Thursday morning. Like, wow. And then, of course, the internet and social media. And then it became even more intensified. Anything I wanted, I could get. I watched a video this morning, a social media influencer, I guess he is, taking a trip to Nigeria, talking about his experiences at the airport. Wow. So I had so much available to me. We all did. It wasn't just what I had. It was what we had as a society. And what we had, if you boil it down to its essence, we had access to all the different voices out there. And then a funny thing happened. On, and we hit the 21st century, still getting all these voices, but around 2010, I would say, and that's around the point I would start at. I think that was the beginning of the end. Around 2010, that world started shrinking. We stopped hearing all of those diverse and varied voices and started hearing voices that were selected for us by algorithms that looked at what we were watching on YouTube, on television, ads that were being targeted to us. Because remember, I get this on my computer. Some of you are getting this on your television screens. Others are getting it on their cell phones. But the targeted advertisement, the ability of companies, everything from YouTube and Google to Amazon to the local store at your mall, they're all able to target us very specifically with advertising. Consequently, they are looking at what we have already looked at and saying, this is what you like, so we're going to show you more of the same. So, if you are a Republican from Nebraska, and for my friends overseas, that's a political party, it has nothing to do with the king. If you are a Republican in Nebraska, you may get a lot of conservative MAGA content. You may get religious programming. If you are a Democrat in Boston, you may well get a lot of content that tends to be socially progressive in its nature. You're probably not getting MAGA content. You're probably getting liberal content. And the result is that what is happening to us is we are hearing our own voices repeating to us. It's like our ideas are coming back on us like a broken record. Repeat, repeat, repeat. We see the same kinds of videos. Why? Because it's what we watched yesterday. Just check your YouTube feed if you don't believe me. Start binge watching anything at all. I do this all the time. I will get hooked on, let's see, what was the last one? Japanese culture, historical and modern. started watching videos on that, and now YouTube just shows me nothing but videos about Japan. It's like, well, that's fine, but I binge watched everything I want to see, and now I would like to move on to videos about Austria. I gotta go looking for them. What's happening is in their efforts to target advertising to us, and remember, YouTube targets advertising to all of us from the ads that are in videos. And even if you have one of those special memberships where they take out the ads, you are still seeing related content. So if you watch one show about Japan, they're going to show you another channel about Japan because they think that's what you like. And it's not humans doing this, it's machines. And machines do not understand the human need for variety, the need to shake things up. So they give us this because they think it's what we want. And what it's doing is it's narrowing our universe. We are seeing the same stuff over and over again. There are literally millions of videos available on YouTube, on TikTok. Lord only knows. I'm reminded of something I heard, Saturday Night Live, I think it was, back in the 80s. Some comedian made a joke about cable TV. It's like 400 channels and nothing but Beastmaster reruns. I feel like I am living that joke now. Millions of videos, yet I'm seeing the same stuff over and over again. The same content is being directed to me over and over again. And I'm in an echo chamber. I am only hearing about things that I've already heard about because YouTube is making the assumption that this is my interest. I go to YouTube because I want them to open up new doors for me. I don't want to just hear. Lord, if I had to just hear about people who shared my political views, well, I'd have a nervous breakdown because, frankly, I'm pretty much an anarchist. So, yeah, I don't want to hear that nonsense. I had enough of that in college, thank you very much. I'm past that point now. I no longer wish to blow anything up. Fact is that we're all suffering from this, from that narrowing, because it's good for business. Because if they give you content they know you like, and they know you like it because you watched it yesterday, so they're clear about that. They give you content you know you like so that you will watch the content and then watch the ads, and then keep in mind they target the ads to you as well, and then buy the stuff. That's how and why they are narrowing our little universes. And they are little universes at this point. We went from having the entire world available to us to having a very narrow band available to us. Because it's easy. If YouTube shows that line going down of videos, it's on the right hand side of your screen, and these are videos for you. We've selected them based on the stuff we know you like. Like, no, you're basing them on the stuff I watched yesterday. It's like, who knows why I decided to watch it yesterday, but the point is that doesn't mean I want to watch it today or tomorrow. But they think they know. Why? Because again, algorithms, bots, machines like predictability, machines like patterns, and human beings, although heaven knows we are indeed creatures of habit for the most part, we don't like that. We like variety. So I wanted to throw that out because I have become aware of that lately. And what I have done to confound the algorithm is I will go into the search engine on YouTube and click on a topic that is of interest to me. Usually it's something they haven't shown me in a while. And yes, they show me the channels that I watch frequently, and that's great. But also, if I haven't watched a channel in a while, they drop it out of my feed. And I'm going to go back and check out some of those channels I haven't watched in a while. Currently, I am looking for things that are as different from Japanese history and modern Japanese culture as I can find, because that's what I have been watching lately. I'm going to find something very different. Look at that. I am going to try to break away from some of the videos that I have been watching. But you have to be vigilant about this. Let me give you an example. I had begun clicking on videos about men complaining about modern women, just to break up the pattern. It's like, what are men saying about women? I don't know. Let's find out. And now I'm being offered video after video after video of men, probably incels, who are extremely unhappy that women are not going out with them and just creating some pretty hateful videos. So I have to get away from that. I have to, stop looking at that. It was all well and good to try to get some sense of what was going on. I didn't realize I had targeted the incel community when I was looking at these things. So yeah, unfortunately, I think I did. But I wanted to get some sense of what is going on socially for modern men, because why not? I am interested in all kinds of stuff, including that, but YouTube takes that ball and runs with it, and they are not the only ones. I go online, for example, looking for contact paper. I was looking for contact paper. I had this notion that I was going to take a shoebox and cover it with contact paper. I don't know why I decided that. I'm not going to, by the way. It was like a momentary passing thought. Maybe I would like to cover a shoebox with contact paper. Unfortunately, these thoughts creep into my head, and I have no explanation for it. And now, every time I go online, I am being flooded with contact paper. Well, that was a momentary thought. Yes, I acted on it. I started doing a little research on it. I do research on everything that enters my head. But now, I'm not interested in doing that anymore, so let's move on. Let's try to go somewhere else with this. It is every social media interaction you have that is targeting you. They want to sell you something, and the best way to do it is to target your interests. Are you interested in contact paper? Let us show you wallpaper. But I don't even want contact paper anymore. I certainly don't want wallpaper, but thank you so much for the effort. And I am having to work very hard to break the algorithm, to go off, get something new, something different. One of the problems I have with all of this is because I do have an interest in a lot of things. Whenever I break away, YouTube is reluctant to go back. So I had a handful of channels I used to watch, people who were into vintage fashion. I love vintage fashion. I could watch videos like that all day, and sometimes I did, and YouTube noticed. So there was a point when they were showing me nothing but sewing videos, vintage fashion videos. About 3/4 of the videos they were offering me were of no interest to me at all. Knitting videos. They showed me knitting videos. I would love to be able to knit, but I can't. Like, sorry, it's just not my skill set, and I do not want to watch someone else knitting and make me feel bad about my complete lack of skill. But the algorithm thought I would like it. So I need to go back and see if I can track down some of those vintage fashion channels, because that's what I did like, and start watching them again, but I can't watch too many of them. I'm going to have to take a pencil and piece of paper and make notes and say, okay, how many vintage fashion channels did you watch today? Did you watch 2? Okay, 2, maybe 3, that'll be my limit, and then I'll go on to something else. Because at some point, YouTube is going to look at that and say, this is what you're interested in, so this is the only thing we're going to show you. We're only going to give you what you like. Doing that, they're not challenging us. They're not encouraging us to grow, to stretch our wings, to look at new things, to look at other people's opinions. And that is very, very important, because as we get older, we tend to associate with people who are very much like us. Other people who are often our same age, usually with our same education levels, same socioeconomic bracket, and inclined to think along the same lines we do. That is not healthy. That is just playing our own voice back to us on constant repeat. We need to hear other voices. We need to interact with other parts of society. So what I am going to ask you all to do, and just humor me, do it once. If it doesn't work out for you, you don't ever have to do it again. But just one time, go look at a video that is of interest to you, but not part of your core interest. Do you like Mexican beaches, for example? Just go on YouTube. Google Mexican beaches on YouTube and see what videos come up. Pick one, watch one, and just to look at something different. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the area in which you are usually interacting and move to something different. Shake up that algorithm. And once you finish your Mexican beaches video, dig up a cooking video. Dig up a video on the history of space exploration in the early 1960s. Whatever turns you on. But start exploring. And yes, it's great when you start to explore and YouTube begins to offer you other similar or related choices. That's wonderful. But then, because again, it's an algorithm, it's a machine, it's not a human, they stick in that mold. And then that's all they offer you. So force them to change it up. Force them to offer you new stuff, different stuff. Take the opportunity to expand, to grow, to listen to different ideas. Are you a diehard conservative? Listen to a liberal broadcaster. Are you a diehard liberal? Listen to a conservative broadcaster. Try to do it with an open mind. The truth is that intelligent, reasonable people with good intentions can have a variety of opinions, and nobody has to be right, nobody has to be wrong. But what we need to do is at least be open to listening to what's out there. Listen to the other voices. Who knows? It could change your thinking. I'm not sure how much of my thinking is going to get changed by this. I would hope some of it would, because that's part of growth. Continuing to grow is to continue to learn, to change the way you think, to modify your opinions. That's what I want out of life. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you because it is something that has been troubling me. we lived in a bigger world 40 years ago than we live in today. And that's not fair. So let's fight back a little. Let's try to reclaim the ground we lost. The internet was supposed to open our doors for us, not close them and shut them into a little, advertising cubicle where we are nothing but a target for everybody's consumerism ads. All right, that is what I have for you today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you seeing the same sorts of ads? If you watch one video, are you suddenly flooded with similar videos? If you click on something, are you suddenly getting all kinds of related content that maybe you're not interested in? Let me know in the comment. All right, we did not get any Audie time, which does surprise me, but I imagine he will show up tomorrow, mostly because it's actually very sunny out and he is sleeping through this, which surprises me because where he is sleeping on the bed, the sun is just pouring in on top of him. Now, I know he enjoys that. I know that warms his little kitty body up, and I know that's pleasant, but I would think all that sunlight would entice him outside. We'll have to see. All right, that is what I have for you today. I thank you for being with us. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm going to take a look at a slideshow on the way out. Meanwhile, have a terrific day. Bye.